Hi, welcome to Force Track. I'm Dade, and I'm being forced to watch Star Trek.
And I'm Mars, and I'm being forced to make a podcast.
Very smooth, nice.
Sorry, I beatboxed over the first part. I couldn't help it.
Just couldn't stop yourself. I get it.
It could not.
And this episode, we're going to be talking about where no one has gone before.
Yeah, this is episode 5, depending on where you're looking. But, yeah, do you want to do your synopsis for this episode?
You know what? Yeah, I would love to, because I feel like I really remember.
Yeah, it's not like we watched this episode like 2 days ago.
Yeah, we watched it pretty recently, and for some reason it's very hazy. I will say this, a little bit of a spoiler. I enjoyed it. This one was pretty good, if I remember right. So they start, and there's these two guys who come up on board.
Mm-hmm.
One dude, he's kind of weird. He's a human, and he's like kind of being a little bitch during the whole time.
Do you remember his name?
No, not at all.
We'll get into that on my detailed part. We go over the details.
Oh, okay. Do you know his name?
Yeah, it's Kaczynski.
Okay, Kaczynski shows up with his assistant that like everyone's kind of weird about. I don't know if he was like allowed to be there or something, or if everyone's just kind of being weird about it. What's the assistant's name?
I don't think he had. I think he says like, humans
He had,
cannot
like, a
say
fake
my
name.
name.
Oh yeah, that's what he said. Humans can't say my name. So they come on board to help out with something. I'm not quite sure. I think it's to like move the ship, which they do a little too good. Wesley helps the assistant dude, the assistant alien guy who's with Kaczynski, and they're like brainstorming and being nerds, like, what if we put the Blorp in the fleet morp?
That is how they talk, yeah.
He's like, kid, you're too smart for your own good. And then they do it so good. They move the ship so good, it sends them like light years away. They're like 30 years. If they travel at highest speed possible, it would take them like 30 years to get back. And they're like, what the deuce? What the hell is happening? And Picard's like mad. Everyone's mad. And the alien assistant dude, he's like phasing out. He's really hurt from doing that. And oh my god. This is like all just a haze in my mind now. Then Kaczynski is all like, I don't know what happened. I thought we did it. And they're trying to make Kaczynski redo it again, because Kaczynski seems like he knew what he was doing, but then it fucked up. And I think they do it again, but now aren't they even further or something, or what happens? Or are they still stuck at this point where it's like 30 years away?
I think you should try to keep describing the episode as long as possible, because it's kind of like watching somebody, like it's like someone who didn't prepare for the presentation but still has to do it.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it's funny. I'm enjoying your memory of this episode.
I really don't remember a lot, shockingly. After this, I know they make two like goes at it with like moving the ship. Is Kaczynski's assistant, the alien dude, he's like, he keeps phasing out, and Wesley notices this and is like, WTF? And then the assistant dude ends up like just fucking falling because it's taken so much out of him. And it's revealed that he's been moving the ship like the entire time, or that he's been like partly the reason why, and it's not Kaczynski, and Kaczynski's kind of like kind of actually a loser, but he's just kind of like riding off the coattails of his assistant without even knowing. And assistant dude is like in the medical bay for he's knocked the fuck out. He's not looking good. He looks like shit. Is there another plot going on?
No, I think it is just this main plot. The whole episode.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
So,
like it's funny, like hearing you talk about this is like I could see everything so clearly. So it's like kind of interesting, like how it chose to stick with you, like where you remember.
So basically, at this point, they're like, "Who is this guy? What's going on?" And everyone's confused. And then they wake him back up while he's in the medical bay, and he's like, "I have a secret to tell you guys. I'm actually a traveler." And they're like, "What? Well, how come we've never met you?" And then he's like, "Well, frankly, you guys have been really boring up until now, so now
Yeah.
I've been kind of interested in that." And then he's like, "I want to talk to Picard alone." And then everyone leaves, and he tells Picard, "Wesley could 1v1 you guys. He could outplay everyone here. So
Yeah, this is
like,
the traveler,
be cool about it."
the big alien dude who's hanging out with
Yeah,
Kaczynski.
this is the assistant traveler dude, and he's like, "Wesley can 1v1 everyone here." Well, Mars, they know that because my Picard voice sounds like this.
Yeah, he sounds like he's chewing on a gobstopper.
This is my traveler voice, as everyone knows, so there's no need to clarify. But
oh no, go.
yes.
I was gonna say something, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Don't worry. I'm just doing the synopsis. We can clarify the details later.
And you're, you know what? You really aren't doing any details. I really appreciate that. Leaving a lot for us to talk about.
Yeah, I'm leaving a lot of details. That's I'm doing that on purpose. And he tells Picard, "Wesley's super cool, and like, don't be a weirdo about it, but he's going to be like really great." And the episode kind of ends with Picard having Wesley help like work. He gives them a title, and I don't really know what the title is, but it's kind of like, "Ooh, you're allowed to be on the bridge now," basically. And
yeah, you're commissioned.
Shit if we need it. And that's kind of how the episode ends.
Yeah, it's very weird how those the like last few episodes go from Wesley not being fucking allowed anywhere near a ship's computer to, hey, why don't you drive the whole ship?
Yeah, for real.
Is
that really all that happens that episode?
Yeah,
it feels like more happens.
It's okay.
Oh,
So
Worf has a hog.
Yeah, we'll get to Worf's hog. I got notes on Worf's hog.
Worf's hog. You know what I'm saying?
It's a pretty good synopsis, I think. Sorry, I talked over your wink.
You know, weirdly enough, the episode felt very long, but like describing it like that, it felt like nothing happened really.
And we had fun. This was a fun episode too. That's the funniest part. It was like a good time.
I enjoyed it. But now I cannot remember any details of it.
Well, never fear. I have a long list of notes.
Thank God. Let's get through them.
Yeah, let's start with the first one. And I love these two because I love reading back my notes because I don't remember them half the time, and it's like written from my perspective. So it sounds like I'm just talking to myself. It's like, I don't know, they're having some crack shot dude come work on the engines. That's my first note.
Is that about Belinsky or whatever his name is?
Yeah, so Kaczynski, yeah, me doing it. Kaczynski he's so here's a couple things I remember from this episode actually. He goes, so there's a ship called the USS or the Fearless. I forget what its registration number is, but it's the Fearless. That's the ship that drops him off. And they're like reporting really good numbers. Also, the ship before that was the Ajax. I don't know why I remember that, but the Ajax and the Fearless got upgrades. They brought Kaczynski over. They're like, hey, I know it's nonsense, but we actually recorded that our engines are working better, so he's going to work on your engines too. And Chief Engineer Argyle is like, this is a bunch of hokey. It's not going to do anything to our engines. I've already checked. I've run the simulations. They don't mean anything. So nobody believes Kaczynski is a crack shot. But Kaczynski walks in, and he is king shit of Dicktown. He is so...
He's being a bitch the entire time.
He's like, his chin is up. I think at one point he just tells somebody like, go get the captain. I don't want to talk to you. Like, basically says that to somebody. Let's see. Oh, a fun fact about Chief Argyle, actually, that I wanted to share.
No clue who that is.
So Chief Argyle is the engineering chief guy that you see sometimes, and he's in like a couple episodes. He has a beard.
And that guy in that one picture?
Yeah, he is the guy. There's a picture we were looking at earlier.
I was looking up pictures of the episode because I was realizing how little I remember, and I found a picture of that guy that somebody edited words onto. Yeah, not important.
So fun fact about that guy. I don't want to like make him sound like a criminal or like he's shitty or anything. I don't know a lot about him, but I will say this: that actor in particular, got in some like minor hot water while they were filming the show because they were basically like they were gonna like kind of considering like who to make the main engineer, like who's the guy who comes back every time because they've been kind of swapping out a few of them. There's like McDougal, who you see for like one episode in the first part of the show, and there's a couple other people sing, but he dies in the episode that he appears in. It's a whole thing. But this guy Argyle, the guy who plays Argyle, caught wind of it, and he like sent in a bunch of letters, but he sent them in before the episode aired, and all of them are just like, "Oh, this Chief Argyle guy, he's pretty cool. He should be in more episodes." And then they were just like,
such a genius idea. That's so funny.
And it blew up in his face.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't think that's kind of cute if I was working on the show and I saw shit like that.
Just some guy like just trying to get himself to be relevant.
Argyle's the best. He's my favorite. Please make action figures of him. I want 20.
And then just them being like, well, I guess this guy's never gonna get a main role.
Hey, why does all the handwriting look the same?
Why does it look like that one guy that we hired?
Wait, did they kick him out because of that?
I don't know if they kicked him out, but they definitely didn't make him a mainstay because of it.
Wow.
Yeah, he definitely shot himself in the foot with that one.
Honestly, I respect that. I respect his dedication.
That's a very interesting reaction. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that about. I mean, it's not like this is like a super.
Well, he's clearly passionate about it. You know, he wants the job, and he's like trying to get hype for him. If I found out that my coworker did that, that would be hilarious. I would be like, wow, they really want this. You know, that's awesome.
You know, there's a lot of interesting, like, season 1 is so low stakes and high stakes for so many people in their careers. Like for Patrick Stewart, it's like nothing. He like doesn't care. And then for like dudes like Chief Argyle, it's like this is his big shot.
Make or break.
Yeah.
Like, it literally feels like everyone else is a Wesley trying to get into the bridge.
Yeah, so that's just a fun little fact about him that I had to look up to be like 100% sure that he was the guy who did that, but he definitely did that.
That's hilarious. I feel kind of bad for him, honestly. I don't think he should have been so reprimanded for that.
I just think it's really funny that he was like, because it's like one of those things where you look at it after the fact of like, well, of course this character has to be like the main engineer. It would nobody else would fit. And then you think of like this guy like being like, oh, this is my big chance. There could be Argyle action figures, Argyle lunchboxes.
Well, who becomes the chief engineer then?
Well, we can't talk about that till they become chief engineer.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But there are a couple different ones.
O'Brien.
I would love O'Brien to be chief engineer in TNG. He's
not O'Brien.
O'Brien becomes a character more in DS9, but we'll get to him. What else we got here?
So it's not O'Brien, huh?
Stop asking.
All right, let's keep going. What's next?
You're acting like a Ferengi in The Last Outpost.
You're acting like a real Ferengi.
Oh, this is interesting. A little fun. Yeah, okay, it's a little Star Trek fact. Kaczynski is wearing a commissioned officer badge, which is like one of the first forms of this you see in TNG.
It's a little square badge.
Yeah, it's a little square badge. Did you notice that during the episode?
I did.
Yeah. It's a commissioned officer, which basically means you're not ranked. You're just like a dude. It's like what I think O'Brien is, some other people. I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed if I couldn't rank up.
I'd be kind of fine, honestly.
Really? You think you'd be okay with that? Just having like a badge that is one thing.
Those whack jobs on the fucking bridge. I'm kind of fine with just doing my own thing.
Just on.
Clear from them.
What would you be doing on the Enterprise? You get to go
Your
on.
Mom. Okay, if I actually had to pick, well, I think I'd kind of like be the Deanna of the group. I'd just be there being like, this shit's whack.
This is crazy, guys.
So crazy. I feel sadness in this room.
I feel sadness in this room. You're just there for the vibe check.
When I break the vase in the lunchroom, I go, I feel anger. Feel anger in this room.
You just like dump someone's food on the floor. You're mad.
You're mad at me. I can tell. I'm reading your mind.
I can reach it.
Would that not work though?
No. It's a lot of people off. Just walking around the Enterprise, just like, no, this is my job. And just like punching like children and
like somebody just heard like you have space cancer, and I walk in and I'm like, there's great sadness here.
See, I was thinking of you being like a menace, where you're intentionally causing like horrible things to happen.
No. I'm just coming into the room in very obvious emotional filled areas and just reporting the general emotion in that room. Someone just had a baby, and I'm like, there's great happiness here.
And someone just had sex. There's great sexiness here.
It smells like sex in here.
Not even a vibe check at that point.
Yeah, I'm just like observing things. That's pretty much what Deanna does.
Yeah, that's true. Especially in this next episode. We just watched the next episode, and holy shit, is the penultimate Deanna episode so far.
I cannot wait to talk about her in that one. But let's keep going on this
one. Let's see. Oh, Kaczynski's also not wearing a badge, which is just such a weird thing. I don't know why he's not wearing a badge. It like bothers me. He looks so naked.
Looks like a slut without it.
See, well, only one of his nipples, or usually it's one nipple's uncovered or something, you know?
You know, the other guy, his like assistant, looks like he's just wearing like pajamas.
Yeah, speaking of his assistant, he has the craziest waves in his hair. Got like 2 fat ass waves. Go look at a picture of the Traveler, which is the guy's name. We find out later he's called the Traveler.
You better grab a surfboard. There's waves coming.
You're gonna be surfing. What's the fucking dude who's like the white dude?
Drowning in waves.
The white dude has got waves, and he's just. What the fuck is he saying? He's like responding to people with like about his waves, like talking about them.
That's what he was saying. He was saying shit like that. It was like a ginger dude with like, I believe like he had like glasses and shit. He was like, better grab a surfboard, or else you're gonna be drowning in these waves.
Yeah, that guy is. He's got. Imagine if that guy had 3 fingers, and was like the size of a professional basketball player. That is this character.
And he's like hanging out with Wesley and shit.
Yeah, him and Wesley are best friends.
Bullshit.
Which I can also mention this too. This is a fun piece of trivia, and you mentioned this while we were watching it. They are sitting on the ugliest chairs in the. So this takes place in engineering, and
oh my god, yeah, those chairs.
Yeah, Wesley's hanging out with the Traveler, and the Traveler's like over on another computer while Kaczynski does his like special. Kaczynski's like punching formulas and shit. And then the Traveler's doing the real work on the other computer over there with his magic body. And Wesley's kind of watching him do his thing. And they're sitting in these like bar stools, but one is like taller than the other, and it doesn't look like you can adjust the height. It's just so
not only that,
weird.
There's no like back.
Yeah, no back.
Or support. So you're just sitting on these stools, and I assume these people are sitting here for long amounts of time, you know, working on the engine, and there's no back support. It must be hell.
Especially for that guy in particular, the fucking Traveler, who is like super tall, and they gave him this tiny ass chair where he's like bending his knees and squatting up to a computer.
Nothing about it looks comfortable at all.
Well, a fun piece of trivia, these are only in this episode. They don't appear ever again in the show.
Really?
Yeah. I was looking up the Wikipedia, and it's like stuff for like sets and props, and it's like these chairs only appear in this one episode. And I get why.
Interesting. Yeah, because it makes no sense otherwise. Probably the actors, I would imagine, hated sitting in it.
It's just ugly chairs. And speaking of ugly, Wesley's wearing another ugly sweater in this episode too.
I mean, when is he not?
Yeah. It's just like they just make him look like he's sopping wet. Like they're just so big on him, and they look heavy.
I want him to become a Starfleet member, not because like I want good things to happen to him, but just so I don't have to see that sweater.
He gets a uniform just so he can stop wearing the sweater.
Just so I can stop seeing him in that stupid sweater.
I feel like the sweaters would look better if they were on somebody else. I would wear those sweaters, but because I think they would look good on me. But he's just such a like they're like twice, they're like 2 sizes too big, and he's so small and
I can
scrawny.
never really tell like the comfort level on the Enterprise because everyone looks sweaty, but they all look kind of cold at the same time. There's been some nippy rooms where I can see people's nipples a little too
Yeah.
well.
Especially those poor extras where they're like, we're not going to give you any special padding. You get to wear the suit, and that is it.
And Wesley in particular, like he looks both sweaty but like cold at the same time because he's wearing that sweater and like some pants.
Especially the fucking like one of the first episodes you meet him in the second episode. That's literally what's happening. Everyone's all sweaty and wearing like thick ass outfits. In the Naked Now.
Yeah, I know. I remember. Sorry, I thought you were going to. Don't you zoom in on me? I'm watching you zoom in on me.
Why are you attacking me?
Why are you attacking me? Why are you attacking me in my... It's the Naked Now.
The Naked Now.
What do you think, Picard?
He's on his games.
What's next on the list?
Next on our notes, we got... I'm noticing the Star Trek sideburns. That's just a fun little side fact. That everyone's got those pointy sideburns. SpaghettiOs, they're going too fast.
Oh yeah, they go hella fast.
Yeah, they go... So there's in Star Trek, the warp barrier stops at warp 10. Warp 10 theoretically means you're everywhere all at once. And that's impossible. So that's where the barrier stops, is 10.
You're a 10 out of 10 movie?
What?
Everything Everywhere All at Once?
That was a top 10 movie. I tried to show that movie to my mom and she fell asleep during it. I don't blame her.
You tried to show it to her on like Christmas.
Yeah, I was like, hey mom, I like
living room, setting room.
I don't think that would have. I think if we were in a theater and I gave her a Red Bull, she would have fallen asleep during that movie. I don't know what is up with her, but she just could not get. You know what? I think it was just the parental vibes put her right to sleep. But we're not here to talk about everything. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, great movie.
Well, this is a great time to announce our new podcast, right? Where we just talk about everything everywhere all at once every day.
Every podcast everywhere at podcast.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Get ready. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, they go really fast. They end up in they're in like 2 galaxies over, and they're like, and you were close. You said 30 years. They actually say it's 300 years to get back. Which is it's actually similar.
Voyager reference.
Voyager.
Am I right, guys?
Voyager, it was going to be 50 years, Dade, or something like that.
So Enterprise or TNG had it even worse.
TNG had it worse. That's right.
That's kind of fucked up now to think about it. That team, like, they got a free pass. They just had some guy help them and get them back. And meanwhile, fucking Voyager, they're just shit out of luck. Deal with it.
Oh, that is one of the many things I don't like about Voyager, is that they meet those people.
Well, maybe they're just dickheads in that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't want it to get into Voyager. I don't want to dog it. It's fine.
Well, we're going to get into it
eventually
once we're finished with this show. Then we're going into Voyager. Then we're going to watch the original series, and then we're going to watch Under Deck, and then we're going to watch
Under Deck.
And we're going to watch Discovery.
Then we're going to watch Picard, and then we're going to watch Strange New Worlds, and then we're going to watch Short Treks.
And then maybe if we have time, we'll watch DS9. I don't know.
Yeah, and then I'm going to kill you in your sleep if we don't watch DS9 after TNG. Because it's the best.
What if we get to DS9 and I'm like, I just don't want to continue this podcast anymore. I'm sorry.
Can you hear my cat?
I can hear your cat. They really like DS9.
Yeah, my cats love DS. They were raised on it.
They fall asleep to it.
I have to pet him so that he doesn't meow more on mic. I have a little cat named Basil. It's cute.
We need a PNG of your cat to put on your lap.
Get a framed photo to put on the wall.
That's the next edition. But we're getting off topic. I guess
fun.
There's too much to talk about this episode.
We'll get back into it. So anyway, warp scale. Anyway, so the reason I brought the warp scale is because they say oh, we're surpassing the warp scale. This is crazy. We can't even go this fast. And then they end up in a place really far away. And then let's see what else we got in our notes here.
Our notes.
Oh, there's a part where Picard has all of his senior staff and he's trying to figure out what to do next. They're like trying to figure out how to get home. And since he's like, well, all I have to do is do the same thing I did before, right? And then Picard's like, whatever. And he gets like a meeting going with all the senior staff. And he asks the opinions of every man in the group of what they should do. They're like, all right, everybody, what should we do about this? What should we do about this? What should we do about this? And then Deanna's just kind of like hanging out for this episode. I don't know. I have it in my notes that she is just not doing anything.
I mean, what can she do? I'm feeling confusion in this room. People are very confused right now. Because, sir, you're feeling very confused. You're now mad. You're now wondering, why is Diana here?
Yes. Why is the ship's therapist in the senior staff room?
Just like hanging out.
I mean, she is.
And to be fair, like
she's always on the bridge.
Like, I love Beverly Crusher, but she's a doctor,
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting when they call the whole senior staff because it's like, okay, I get why you would call the senior staff for some occasions, but why for this one? Why about an engineering issue?
Yeah, you just want to bring like a couple people.
But I think so. What happens next is they're like, okay, we're gonna try to jump again. We're gonna do it all over again. The Traveler, he's all sick from the first time he did it, but he's up to do it again. And oh, you know what happens? I think like him and Wesley are having like a little moment. No, that's what happens the first time. Him and Wesley have a little moment about. He's like, oh, what do you think about this warp pattern? And then they launch each other too far. And then the second time they try to do it, but I guess he gets too ambitious and he launches them even further into this place of blue clouds and little lights flying around, which I later.
Oh my god, that was the subplot. They're going insane.
What? Oh well, the subplot is like that everyone's like imagining.
Yeah, that's
stuff.
what I'm saying.
I guess that is a subplot. I wasn't thinking of it that way.
Well, I mean, it's part of the plot, but I totally forgot that there was like shit happening. I was like, something weird was happening this episode. What was the weird thing that was happening? I could not remember it for the life of me. I swear to God. I was like, it feels like there's a giant part of this I'm missing that I just cannot remember.
I think this is a good introduction. Speaking of the weird shit, is there?
Yeah.
We have Worf's.
You can explain that. It just popped back into my head.
We have Worf's pet Targ, which is on screen. It's just kind of a wild boar that they put some fur on. With
some like horns.
Yeah, some horns. And I looked it up. I was curious. I was like, okay, is there any fun trivia about this thing? There is. So this is Worf's pet Targ. It was played by the animal star Emmy Lou. And
Emmy Lou, of course.
According to Robert Jessman, one of the producers on Star Trek, and I quote, "That pig smelled horrid. A sweet, sour, extremely pungent odor. I showered and it took me a week to get rid of it."
Wow.
So, just know that thing smelled like smelled like shit.
Showered the warhog?
No, shower. It does sound like he's trying to shower the warhog. I took her home.
I mean, that's what I imagine, like washing himself. That's a little dramatic. Like it took a week.
Which by the way, this also led me down a small rabbit hole of. I'll just briefly talk about this because I could go on forever. I found the list of animal stars of Star Trek animals.
Amazing.
And they have the funniest names. So on the trending pages on the wiki, the first one is a beagle, and his name is Prada.
Mm-hmm.
We have another dog named Breezy, a cat named Monster, which I think he might just be a monster, or his name is Monster.
I kind of like both.
De Niro, the pit bull. Bud, the cat.
Is his first name Robert?
Nah, I think his owner's name is Robert, and then he's De Niro.
Robert De Niro? That's cute.
That'd be cute. A dog named Friday. And many, many more, such as Zeke, which is...
I like it.
There's so many good ones. Yeah, if you want to have yourself a good time, go look up the Star Trek Animal Star list on the Wikipedia. It's so good.
I'm looking at a picture right now. I googled Targ, the Warhog, and if you type in Targ cosplay, you might find this picture of a Rottweiler dog dressed up as Targ.
That's cute.
Targ cosplay, which is just amazing. I didn't think that would exist.
Yeah, Targs are one of those things in Star Trek where they come back for fun. Like they get
for fun all the time.
Yeah, I think you actually see a Targ again in the lower decks, and I thought that was fun.
That's cute. Well, it's a good thing we're watching Lower Decks now.
Yeah, good thing we keep fucking going off topic. Let's see. Oh, also another thing's short. Apparently, the special effects to create the blue lights and shit, that was literally just water rippling on someone's wall in their house, and then just like messing with that a bunch, and then just Christmas lights were the little lights that they like fly around. I thought that was a cute little detail.
That was cute. It looks pretty good.
Oh, also when the Targ shows up, Tasha Yar is like, "What the fuck is that?" And Worf's like, "It's my pet, Targ when I was a child. I haven't seen him forever." And Tasha goes, "You're telling me that's a kitty cat?"
I totally forgot that she said that.
I fucking wrote that down.
What does that mean? You're telling me that's a kitty cat?
You're telling me that's a kitty cat? It's the only animal she understands.
She only knows cats. She's a huge fan of the musical Cats.
Big fan. She watched it on VHS. Loves it.
Oh. Wait, was there a reason for that? Did she say anything after that? Was anything like... Okay, well, hold on.
You know what it is? It's because like 2 seconds later, a cat shows up, I think, for her.
Oh, okay, I see. You tell me that's a kitty cat?
Telling me that's a kitty cat?
It's really funny that Yar says kitty cat, not just like cat or kitty, but specifically kitty cat.
I think in this episode too, she does some more of her backstory where she like you actually get to see it for the first time, and it's like her in this like drainage pipe, and there's like a bunch of dudes just going, and then she's got like a cat, and she goes like, "It's not safe for here," and she like lets the cat go into some mud. Let's see what
Muddy
else.
Cat.
Then there's the.
Cat. What do you think the name was?
I don't know. Did she say it? I feel like
Miar.
Is that how you name your animals? Is that how you name your animals? You go like you name them like Diog.
Yeah, that's the name of my dog. Is Diog. And I assume your cat's names are Meows and Miedi.
What is that one?
So what's next on the notes?
Okay. Let's see.
Let's talk about hallucinations. I think that's fun.
Yeah, there's a whole montage of them. Do you remember any ones in particular?
Someone doing ballerina.
Yeah, there's ballet. There's the guy who's playing violin, who's like who was sitting alone eating lunch.
There's Picard like imagine his grandma or his mom or something.
His mom, yeah.
Which, by the way, I told Mars this, and someday we might do this, but the only thing that I've really seen of TNG was like a video a long time ago where like the plot of the video was Picard takes acid and like he goes on a trip, and it's a long video. I think it's like 40 minutes or something, and it's just full of like crazy visuals from the series and like a weird plot line, a weird thin plot line of Picard like tripping or whatever. And this episode feels like ripe for footage of that because there's just a lot of weird shots of him doing stuff.
Yeah, there's the scene where he opens the elevator door and it's all space and he freaks out. Sees his mom.
He's drinking like tea with his mom and shit.
Oh, and he snaps at Riker because Riker comes around the corner. He's like, "Captain, what are you doing?" And she goes, "No, Riker, can't you see how?" And he turns back and his mom's gone. And it really gives off that Charlie Day when he's like doing the whole like, "I got boxes full of Pepe," and he's like, "Oh, Barney, he's the guy who tipped me off." And he goes to turn to the guy that is standing next to him in one shot. And he goes and turns, and the guy's not there, and he just goes, "Oh shit." That's how fucking Picard looks in this scene. It's just like, "Can't you see my mom?" Never mind. Sorry.
I agree. That is very much like that scene, huh?
Yeah. What else happens?
I love how long that reference explanation was.
I know, I get to feel it. I get to feel my fucking hair growing.
My children went to college by the time that was done.
Little Timmy was born in this reference.
I liked it though. I love the commitment to the bit.
Next point of business. Everybody calls Wesley Boy all the time. And nobody really says his name. And in this episode, I wrote in my notes, Picard's calling him Boy a lot, in front of his face, referring to him like he's not in the room. And then everyone starts doing it for some reason. And then fucking Wesley tries to cut in, and then fucking Wesley's like, "Hey, I'm right here," and Picard just goes, "Shut up." He just goes like,
"Does that actually happen?"
Yeah, he tells him to quiet down or something.
Quiet down.
He's just like, "Stop it."
Fucking go away.
And then I think he takes it to heart, and then he calls him Wes all of a sudden.
Wes.
He's like, "Listen here, Wes."
Wes. Giving him a little nickname. Wes.
And then I think Beverly tells him to Beverly under her breath tells, because that's what happens. Wesley goes on this little rant about how he has the Traveler is the one who's doing all this stuff, and it's trying to clear up everything. And then his mom is just across from him, just mouthing the word "shut up." And I think it's so funny.
Shut the fuck up. They should call Wes Wes Kid.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts on
that. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny when she. Actually, I don't remember that. I'm sorry. I don't remember her mouthing "shut up," but I really wish I did because that sounds funny.
That's why I have it in my notes. I gotta keep track of all these little moments, even if they're despondent to talk about later, where nothing makes no sense out of context. But these are worth remembering. If you saw this episode, you'll remember.
Remember with us, everyone. And if you've never seen Star Trek, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, if you've never seen Star Trek, what an insane way to consume this.
Also, the funniest way to consume this, I would say.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see what somebody who's never seen Star Trek, but for some reason wanted to watch this podcast would think by the end of the series. Would they watch it,
Well, especially today, we're
I feel like it's especially so funny because I started this off by saying I really enjoyed this episode, and then upon my synopsis, I just felt like everything was melting in my brain.
Yeah.
Let's keep going on the notes here.
Yeah, this episode's I felt like we had a lot to say, and I'm looking through my notes, and there's not as many notes as I thought there were.
I mean, yeah, there's not too much to say in this one. It's pretty good, honestly, but not a lot happens, and weirdly enough, I almost feel like that's kind of connected.
Yeah. Well, there's right after that, Picard, after everyone has their freakouts, Picard does this thing where he's like, "Okay, everybody, chill out. You need to control your minds. You need to give me a little bit of your spirit and energy so we can handle this." Or no, what they specifically say is, think good thoughts and be nice to the Traveler. Focus on your tasks. And be nice to and give your basically pray for the Traveler and make sure he gets stronger because he's weak right now from helping us travel.
And then Picard went, Kame.
You want to see me turn into a Super Saiyan?
Want to see me do it again?
See me do it again.
All 12 people who the Venn diagram of Star Trek fans and Mega 64 fans.
All 2 of them.
They're like, "Oh my god, I got it!" Yeah, they're in this room right now. We're still looking across from each other.
I think also another funny thing is there's a scene just before that where Picard goes to talk to the Traveler in sick bay, and this Traveler's in this little medical coffin thing, and the Traveler's your boy, the boy Wesley, he's very special, and I think he goes he's a savant or something like that. And he's like, "I've read about such geniuses in your ship's computer, one called Mozart, who would write beautiful symphonies at a young age." And then he is like that, and basically just this weird Wesley's a really special boy.
You know what? You know what I wish was the truth.
Mm.
This would be the funniest thing ever if none of that was true, and he's just like, he just like really liked Wesley and felt bad for him, and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get him some points."
I'm gonna be nice to him.
Because wouldn't that be the ultimate way of doing it? Is just like everyone go away. I need to talk to your captain for a second. This kid is fucking smart. Don't tell anyone I said this, but he's like the smartest one here, and you should be nice to him. And if anyone bullies him, you should like beat them up.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. I promise.
He's cool. He's so freaking awesome, dude. Just like be nice to him, please.
Yeah, so the traveler gasses up Wesley and is like, Wesley's super cool, and you have to harness how smart he's gonna be, but you can't tell him because then then he won't be smart and cool.
Yeah, he'll immediately become dumb.
He won't reach his full potential. So Picard's like, yeah, sure, I'll never tell anybody that this weird alien told me that this kid's really cool. Like, I'll never mention it again.
Kind of funny what comes with the job of being on Starfleet.
Especially being the captain, where you just have to be like, all right, weird alien, sure, whatever.
Okay, I guess I'm keeping this till I die.
And then we got later also to the alien, the traveler joins everybody in engineering. They're going to do it again. They're going to get everyone home. The traveler has to like really focus his energy. And so like Kaczynski is there, and I guess the traveler needs Kaczynski there to like imagine that he's doing the right thing so that the traveler can like harness his thoughts. Which, by the way, that's like the big thing of this episode, is that like thoughts and reality are like more interchangeable in where the traveler comes from. And it's like the next level of human understanding is that. I think Wesley makes that connection. The traveler's like, shut the fuck up. You're not supposed to know that yet.
You're too advanced. Stop
it. You literally, everyone here's going to freak out if you say that to them.
They're not ready, but also I'm going to send them there.
Yeah, well, then fucking the traveler's like, hey, I need Kaczynski on the computer. He's a big part of this. He's going to help me pull this off. And Kaczynski just kind of goes like, you need me? With this like really cute like blink 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 blink.
Yeah, he's like I don't know. He's like kicking rocks and shit, like arms
twisting his hair.
Like, I don't know, guys. I'm not really helpful. Egging on for like compliments. Kaczynski, you're beautiful. We love you. We weren't mad, okay?
And then Kaczynski's on the computer and he's like beep boop boop beep boop, and he's like happy as a clam putting in his he's like, now we all know bullshit equations.
What is it? He just opened up hackertyper.net. He's just typing random shit.
Yeah, that's what he's doing literally. And then fucking
keys mashing.
I've just remembered this. Picard does like a vibe check on the ship. He turns to Deanna and is kind of like, what status? How's everybody doing? And I think Deanna goes like, immense happiness, sir. Everyone's happy.
See what I'm saying? Easiest job ever.
Yeah, honestly.
I told Mars this, and I guess I'll hold on. We'll talk more about Deanna next episode, but she is hilarious to me. I'm just shocked she's allowed on that ship.
It's so funny how they like, yeah, we will talk about her later. She's just so weird on this show so far, especially some of the episodes coming up. I know I keep saying that about like everything, but
you say that about every episode.
There's so much shit that really
it's almost like a tradition at this point.
Well, just like watching the show in this order, and like I just remember so much about Star Trek all of a sudden, and I'm just like, wow, it's so weird that they're doing this and then this and then that. And I'm trying not to like eat up every episode with just that, but there's a lot.
Okay, whatever, dork. Let's get on to the next notes.
Well, don't worry. There really aren't any other notes. I think Picard goes.
You know what?
What?
Okay.
Picard says, he fucking. Yeah. Picard says, have the boys sent to the bridge, because now he's got to foster the good feelings. I hate that. Sorry, I went on autopilot for a second.
Foster the good feelings, what?
I don't know, I'm trying to come up with like a band. No, Picard is just like, I have to train the boy, so he has them come onto the bridge, and then he goes up to Wesley and he's like, all right, I know you're not allowed to be on the bridge because it's only commissioned officers on the bridge, so you're getting a field commission. You get to now be the rank of field commission ensign, which basically
I will draw your furry OC any way you want.
You won the lotto.
You said field commission. I thought that's what. Okay, never mind.
No, that's you're in.
Would it be a space commission?
Yeah, I think so.
Because you're in space, not on fields. Kind of dumb of you.
Kind of dumb of me?
Hey, can you stop cutting in and just finish what you're saying? Meow. Fields commissions.
Sorry, I forget. Not everyone's looking at the screen. Look at this. Go back 2 seconds and go look at your screen so you can get that joke.
Everyone. Hit the
hit the 30-second backward button.
I know you're asleep right now, but wake up and then hit the left arrow key on your keyboard like 2 times, 20 seconds, and then look at the screen to see what Mars is doing. If you're audio only, I'm sorry, you're shit out of luck. Mars was just zooming in on the screen in silence. She's doing it right now.
Well, if you were inside someone is listening to this podcast to fall asleep, which, by the way, what an insult. Or not an insult.
Wake up! This will scare them. Hey, we were talking about you.
We were talking about you guys. Are you having a good dream?
Having a good dream? What were you thinking about? Were we in there? Were we in your dream?
Yeah, were we there? Were you thinking about us?
I've listened to podcasts while I went to sleep. I've never had them in my dream before.
I don't think that's ever happened to me too. I don't think I've ever had like dialogue slip into a dream.
I've had it happen before, but like from music and stuff, or like a TikTok.
Was it like a soundtrack?
Just like watching it, I fell asleep.
Like a soundtrack?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just music, random music. It would just like be playing in the background, and then I'll wake up.
I dig that. Sorry, I keep doing like silent.
You keep
every time I'm quiet.
Hitting the zoom button and staying quiet.
It's just so fun. I love the zoom button. I love having all this shit set up. It's so entertaining.
All right, let's finish up this.
Yeah, let's we're kind of fucking around.
This can be a shorter episode. I don't mind.
That's fine with me.
Not too much to say.
Yeah, this episode's pretty cut and dry. I think it's the first good episode where you really like sit down and you're like, oh, it was fun. I'd watch another one.
Did you say that about the last episode?
What did I?
Yeah, you said you said the last episode was the first good episode.
Well, this is the next first good one. I don't know what she was talking about, but this is where it's at.
Man, it's a magic carpet ride with you, Mars.
Well, yeah, it is sometimes, isn't it? Because I'm dividing my attention between like 3 different things at the moment. My cat, this whole recording, by the way, my cat has been inches away from a Trader Joe's paper bag that has been sitting on the floor that I can't get to right now. And I have been using multiple, like every time I seem distracted in this episode, just imagine me leaning over, like kind of trying to fan my cat away from making loud crinkling noises.
Don't you have the recording sign on for the cat to see?
They can't read. They never took those classes.
What?
I know. I actually legit have a reading is fun print hanging over where my cats eat that has a cat on it to encourage them to read. That's not a bit.
Yeah.
That's very true.
No, I'm kidding. I know. I've seen it.
You've been to my cave.
Yeah, you've shown me around a couple times, but I wanted to pretend to be the audience.
Yeah.
So I'll pretend I'm the audience. You do?
Yeah.
Meow.
Yeah.
Just heard the meow in the background.
See, he's got me held hostage. All right. Yeah, let's wrap this
up so your cat can eat.
My cat's eaten. He's already eaten. He's just annoying. Not true. I love my cat.
Your cat's like currently a skeleton pawing at you.
Just dust.
All right, give me your review of the episode. What did you think? Review and a score.
Well, I don't know if Basil's meows are coming through on my end on OBS, but he's meowing so much right now. My review is that I actually really legit enjoyed this episode a lot, just because it felt like an episode you could just put on, and you wouldn't like think about it being like,
It seemed like you hated it.
No, I liked it.
I was joking. Yes.
I didn't take you seriously. It's just one of those episodes where like I could see myself watching this again if it was on like TV or just on randomly. I'd watch it. I really enjoyed getting to see the Targ. I think that was probably the highlight of the episode for me.
That was definitely one of the best moments.
And the super weird moment where the traveler is like referring to Wesley as Mozart. I don't know why I can't get that out of my head. That is like when he just goes, one of your composers, Mozart. Just the way he says it is like burned into my skull. But that's my review. It's got some memorable moments, and I had a lot of fun rewatching it, and it's got some fun trivia. What do you think?
You always forget this. You do a score. We all do a score
fuck.
at the end. Man, you would think by episode 5 we would have it down by now.
I'm flying by the seat of my pants.
It's okay. I get it. Your cat's pawing at you from the grave. You're checking the recording.
I'm gonna give this episode. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Wow.
You know what? Actually, 7 out of 10. You were too excited.
No, because last episode you gave it a 7 out of 10, and you were like, "Oh, this is the first good episode. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of good stuff." 7 out of 10, and like the episode before that, you gave that a 6 out of 10.
Well, see, like mentally, a 5, like anything under a 5 is I hated it, and I need to be kinder. I need like a 1 to be I hated it, and then it's like my scales are all fucked up. I think if you just take everything I've ever said and knock it down by 2, it's the real score.
Okay, so all the first episodes were like 3s. Then the first good episode was a 5, and then this episode's a 6.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I can roll with that. Thank you.
No problem. What?
There's chaos right now.
You can really tell this is being recorded at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but this is 3 a.m. After
it's currently 3 a.m. right now.
After like it's so much shit before this. All right. What do you think, Scout?
Here's my final review. Overall, I liked it. It was pretty good. I liked the characters. I kind of like how focused and how low stakes it was. Well, I mean, it was high stakes, obviously, because it was like, we have to get the fuck out of here, or, shit will explode and die, or whatever. But, like, it wasn't them having to worry about an entire planet or civilization. It was just kind of about, like, learning about this life form that they had never met. They're really trekking, They're doing that trek part of the name.
It's the first trek.
Pretty fun. I liked all the shit with the Traveler and Wesley. I thought that was pretty good. And just like all the weird comedy things, like the Warhog showing up, then the dark immediate shift to the rape gangs and in Yar's world.
Immediately, the fucking dude who's on fire in the hallways.
Yeah, the dude who's on fire, and then cutting to Picard's mom. Just so much happens. A lot happens, but at the same time, it's pretty good pacing. Honestly, pretty good pacing for the most part. I would give it 7 out of 10. I feel like that's pretty high for an episode like that.
I'll say this. That's a 7 out of 10. That's pretty gracious for your scoring, by the way.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm just a bit nicer when it comes to this.
Well, I'll say this. If you for some reason, haven't watched any Star Trek and you've gotten this far into the podcast, watch this episode. I think this one will get you set for season 1 to start watching it. It's a good, you get a sample of everybody's character, and it's watchable. It's not nails on a chalkboard for an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, the first couple of episodes are boring.
Yeah. They're rehash. Like half of them are rehashes of original episodes. This one is a rehash, not really a rehash, but it uses the name. The name is a rehash.
I knew that.
I didn't know you knew that. That was very. I'm always surprised by the Star Trek facts you remember.
Well, it's weird because like now that I've I don't know, like Googled it or just I've seen it on Reddit and shit. Like I retain a lot of information, and that's why it's very hard for me not to go and like Google Wikipedia facts about this show, because I want it to all be a surprise. And I do that with like all the shows I'm interested in. I go like just research everything about it, and I'm having to stop myself with this one.
Yeah,
But
well, Star Trek in particular it's a rabbit hole of information. It's so tempting.
it could go on forever.
Oh god. Okay, just like this
I'll finish it
podcast.
off with predictions.
Yeah, what are your predictions? What do you think is going to be? What do you think this episode's going to have an effect on?
So, I definitely feel like the Traveler's coming back. I don't know when, but I feel like at some point or some kind of Traveler will return. At least I hope so. Wesley, his plot line is thickening and growing ever so quickly. I feel like we're really going to get a huge change with him by the end of the season and into season 2. Like something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Deanna is going to continue to be pretty useless.
So mean.
I like Deanna. It's not that I don't like her. I just think she's hilarious. Just every time she's in a room, she's just kind of standing there as if she's like, what she does is just as important. I know that sounds mean, but like half the time it doesn't require her there.
Well, she's useful sometimes when the script says she's useful.
Exactly. We'll talk about her more in the next episode.
Yeah, there's a lot to say.
And I think that's pretty much all of my my predictions. God, I want Q back, and I'm going to be honest, Mars.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit of a stinker. I scrolled down in the episode list, and I see he's coming soon.
That's the best part about those episodes. I did that same thing when I watched the show. I went and looked for every Q episode, because every Q episode is a pun with the letter Q in it.
Except the first episode.
Except the first one, because they didn't think of it yet.
I did notice that in the episode that he's like coming up that he's in. I was like, oh, that's cute. And I went back to look at episode 1 to see if there was a pun in there. And there wasn't. I was very disappointed.
I would love there to be a pun in episode 1. It would make
we
episode 1 fun.
Rename it. Can we rename it real quick?
Rename episode 1?
Yeah, what's it called? Something at Farside.
It's called Encounter at Farpoint.
At Farpoint. Q&A at Farpoint.
Q&A at Farpoint. That's not bad, actually.
Do you have one?
See, I was gonna think of something really stupid. Like,
I'll say it.
No, because it's not even creative. It's not even funny.
Oh, no, do it.
I was just gonna jam Q in there. Like Q, like encounter at Q point or encounter at far Q. Q at far points. Q at giant jellyfish.
I feel like this is the perfect sign that
that it's officially 3 a.m. I told you multiple times it's stupid.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad you said it though. I think they're great.
God.
And you know what I also think is great?
Yeah.
Setting our phasers to goodbye. That's right.
Sorry, my cat just pulled out a bunch of shit out of a closet. Oh my god.
He just pulled out his
phaser. He's got a gun.
He's pulling out his phaser gun and setting it to goodbye. And he's saying you should probably cue the music.
And I did.
And you did it.
And I did it.
All right, everybody.
Goodbye.
It's been real, and it's been great. And we'll see you in the next one. Pew, 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 pew.